It is week number 12 of the high school football season, and tonight, your Kenston Bombers made the trek out west here to Bedford Bearcat Stadium to take on the Bucks of Medina Buckeye in week number 2 playoff action of the Ohio High School Athletic Association football playoffs. It is the regional semi-final round. Matt Jaworski and Drew Tewksbury with you. Drew, the Bucks won a very close game last week. They won by a field goal as they knocked off Alliance. And on the other hand, Kenston, a little bit of a cushion, but they still had to come across a very scrappy opponent.
They really did. From the get-go, it was your old typical smash-mouth football game. You got two offenses last weekend that just would not give up, and the defenses were as stout as could be. West Holmes came back, tied up the game late, 34-34. And with a couple key plays, key interceptions, one by Tyler Mintz in the fourth quarter, the Bombers seemed to pull it away. Ended up with a nice 48-34 victory that rolls them right into this weekend.
Well, the Bombers have been playing great football all season long. One hiccup against a very tough Hilltopper team, but tonight going to be an interesting matchup as they've got a very tough offense that they're going up against in Buckeye, and we'll see what their defense can do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really the challenge for the Bombers. Is offensively they're a juggernaut. There's very little stopping them. Their rushing attack, their passing attack is fantastic. Defensively, we've seen through the weeks that they're a little bit soft in the secondary. If Buckeye has studied their film, they may be able to take advantage of that a little bit.
Well, the other thing is what's Kenston's offense going to do, because that's a high-flying machine. A lot of options, and if the weather holds tonight, we're hoping it will, we might see some good passing attack.
Well, I think so. I mean, if you get Tom Kufsick and he and Stanley can get hooked up, they have been known to hit some long plays. Tyler Mintz is grabbing the ball over the middle really, really well and in key plays. And if the passing game isn't there, they've got an all-state running back in Jack Porter who's got over 1,800 yards this year, just doing a fantastic job.
Well, only time will tell what will happen. We ask you to stick around because kickoff is just moments away here on GTV.
Tonight's special telecast is being brought to you through a unique arrangement between GTV, Tom Porter, and Blaster Corporation. Founded over 22 years ago, GTV is the local educational and community channel programming service supported by cable fees in communities in northern Geauga County. GTV provides coverage of local community events and hundreds of hours of school programming on Spectrum Cable and on the Internet. GTV would like to serve Bainbridge and the Kenston Schools community. This can only be done through a 5% cable fee. That fee was removed from cable bills in Bainbridge years ago by a previous Board of Trustees. If you'd like local and school programming restored to your cable service, please let your Bainbridge trustees know you want your GTV.
To the offspring, come out and play. Kenston alma mater, and as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And here they come. Playoff football moments away here on GTV. Jaga Local Access Cable GTV, in cooperation with Blaster Corporation, makers of the #1 selling penetrant PB Blaster, proudly presents Kenston Bomber playoff football. Good evening, everybody. We are getting you ready here for round 2, if you will, of the playoffs, as the Bombers and the Bucks set to take off. The Bombers will be getting the football to begin this game, and Drew, that might be a good thing because we get to see Kenston's offense first.
I think that's going to be a fantastic opportunity for the Bombers to set the tone of the game. Clearly throughout this year, it's been their offense that has been the juggernaut that has been much lauded and averaging close to 40 points a game. They're sitting there looking at a 438 yards per game average as an offense. That's a pretty strong way to start if you can get the ball.
Well, indeed, and for Kenston, if they can, I don't want to say eliminate because you're never going to do that in the playoffs, but if you can hold back on the mistakes, you know, keep your penalties to a minimum, keep the turnovers to a minimum, you're going to put yourself in a good position to do good things.
Well, there's no question, and there's been a number of opportunities throughout this season where the Bombers have been up and they've had critical penalties at the wrong point in time in a game. So hopefully Coach Grube has gotten them coached up this week. They're focused, they're dialed in, and they got a little bit more discipline.
Well, Kenston coming in on a 2-game winning streak. Their opponents on the other side are riding a 10-game winning streak, having lost their first game of the season, and the Bucks have found good fortune on the scoreboard since that point in time.
Well, they certainly have, and now we're getting ready to see two fantastic kick returners back there in Branson Stanley and Jay Middleton. It'll be neat to see if they can light up this stadium to start this game.
Well, that'd be a really great way for things to get going here. Waiting for the officials as they finish getting some things situated.
It'll be interesting to see if they actually kick it deep to these guys. The last three teams that the Bombers have played against, they've really avoided going deep to the return men and looking for more short and squib type of kickoffs. So it'll be interesting to see if they can give them a run back chance.
Well, here we go. Everybody is ready. And the Division III, well, pick the ball up, try it again. Bit windy here, flags are flying. We were down on the field earlier, wasn't quite as windy.
No, it wasn't, but it's certainly a cold night, and it's going to affect some things. But these guys are going to get warmed up. Both teams are well prepared, and they're going to get warm. And
now Clay Gunkelman puts his foot in it. It's going to be a short kick, far side, fielded around the 27, making his way to the 30 and a 35-yard line. Not bad starting field position for the Bombers.
Not bad at all. It's going to be fun. Bombers going to start on their offense right now with left tackle George Sell, who's a senior. Junior Jeremiah Jones at left guard. Brandon Schrader, a senior at center. Justin Schrader at right guard. Big Alex Robarge, 6'4", 315 at senior at right tackle. Then they've got all-world quarterback Johnny Tomkufsik, returning all-state tailback Jack Porter, Ryan Miller, the freshman halfback, and then wideouts Branson Stanley, Tyler Mintz, and Jay Middleton round out this high horsepower offense.
Bomber's going to go to the air first, pass near side, in and out of the hands of his intended target. Not quite the way you want to start, but you know what? That's just one play. We'll see what brings up play number two.
Yeah, Tom Kufsik's got some pretty good confidence in Tyler Mintz. It's one of his go-to guys, and Tyler's got some drops every now and then, but he's come through with some fantastic plays throughout the year. He'll get warmed up.
Now trips now near side, a receiver far side. Tom Kufsik from the gun. Blitz coming, steps up in the pocket, gonna throw down the field. As a man, it's caught at the 30, to the 20, near the 10-yard line, and a big connection for the Bombers.
Huge pass play right there from Tom Kufsik to Middleton. Middleton on a slant across the middle, ran deep, split the defenders, and just got past that safety, was wide open. Tom Kufsik laid it in his hands, and nice 30 yards after the catch. Puts the ball down at, what about the 8-yard line?
They will spot the ball at the 9. No, checked at the 8. Boy, Kenston strikes first on the big plays, and that's what you want to see from the Bombers. Start spreading the field around. They will go to the ground. Porter left side toward the end zone. Touchdown, Bombers.
Touchdown. Boom. Touchdown Bombers. Jack Porter.
Well, Jack Porter made a couple cuts, and they paid off.
He did. Well, they let that left-hand side of the line there, led by George Sell and Jeremiah Jones, really plowed through, created an opening, and Porter, who's a patient runner, found the hole and made his way through it successfully in the end zone.
Oh, Kenston now ready to tack on the PAT.
This is Anna Sanders on for the attempt. Anna Sanders is just named second team All-Northeast Ohio. He's done a fantastic job. She has missed only 2 PAT attempts throughout the year.
Now connects again, and with 11:23 left to go, Kenston strikes first. They lead Buckeye 7-0. Wow, what a start.
Well, we thought there might be a little electricity. Let's wait to see, though. This Buck team that's coming up here, they've got a strong offense as well. They've done very well throughout the year, and I don't expect this to be a low-scoring affair.
With that, we will pause. We'll take our first time out here. Kenston football brought to you by GTV and Blaster Corporation, makers of the #1 selling penetrant, PB Blaster, and backed by a full line of pro-grade products formulated to penetrate, lubricate, loosen, overcome, fix, and conquer each job. Welcome back, everyone. Ready for kickoff. Bombers set to kick it off, up 7-0. Thank you for joining us. Matt Jaworski and Drew Tewksbury with you. Kick going to be fielded near the 15, up to the 20, 25, 30, and just shy of the 35-yard line is where Buckeye will take over.
It was a nice run back by Anthony Watkins, a senior wide receiver, 5'11", 170. Good starting position and field position for the Bucks.
Well, the Bombers struck so quickly, we didn't even have time to talk about Buckeyes starters, but on defense, we'll get to them just a minute after this play here. Will be 1st and 10 Bucks from the 34-yard line, and going to be a QB keeper. Not much going on there, as Dirge just couldn't do much with it.
No, he couldn't, and he got stuffed up the middle. Really, there was no room. And then you've got all Northeast Ohio linebacker Matic Lodi stepped up, filled the hole, wrapped, and dropped him down for no gain on the play.
Well, Jacob Durgee, a junior, 6'0", 240. He's got a good running back behind him, and Don Monaco, a senior, 6'3", 205. I formation. They'll look to throw it and bat it down. Live ball.
Yep.
Officials ruled it was a lateral pass.
They did. The Bucks did a good job of getting right back in the hand of the intended receiver. It bounced right in his hands, but there was a good group of Bombers there that held it to no gain.
I think that might have been Timmy Matty who batted that ball back.
It was. It looked like old number 47 came through on that.
Going to be now 3rd and about 11. 3rd and 10 for Buckeye. QB rolling out near side, looking to throw. Has a man caught. Broken tackle near midfield, making his way across the 40 and down near the 35-yard line. That's Anthony Watkins.
Nice play by the Bucks. If that's any area that they can potentially exploit in this Bomber defense, it's that secondary. Unfortunately, they've been giving up a lot of passing yards on these intermediate passes throughout the year. That play was a nice gain and evidenced a little bit of a crack in the Buckeye armor.
Well, Anthony Watkins is teamed up with Derek Thomas, number 10, the two receivers in this lineup, and Logan Schultz is the tight end. After this play, we'll get you the Kenston defense. I formation. They will give it to Monaco, spinning around, and Monaco dropped for a short gain.
Yeah, that tackle was led by number 11, Joe Stodenbauer, a senior, 5'11", 205 for the Bombers. He's kind of the anchor. He and Matic Lodi and Logan Vargo in the linebacking core with Anthony Velacci really hold down this defense. There's some big boys on that front line with Timmy Matty, Mitch Sotera, Connor Kratzer, and Max Check just kind of holding down and pushing hard as they can. We'll get to the secondary after this play.
Well, we will not, because timeout has been called. Timeout called by Buckeye. Wow. With 9:09 left to play, they need to talk some things over. It gives us time now to introduce that Kenston secondary.
Absolutely. So the secondary came up huge last week in the game against West Holmes. You've got Dorian Talley, who had an enormous interception late in the game that really spurred the comeback. They were tied 34-34 at about 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Dorian Talley had a huge pick with about a 40-yard run back. Branson Stanley's back there. He uses the speed that he's got in the wide receiver position. And then you've got Tyler Mintz as well, who does a fantastic job and had a key pick late in that game last week.
Oh, here we go. Going to be 2nd down. Watkins coming in motion. They will hand the ball off, left side, trying to cut around the end. He does near the 30, bouncing around, still on his feet and brought down for another 3 or 4 yard gain. Well, we've seen them distribute the ball somewhat evenly, pass and run, and now they give it to Watkins.
Showed some good speed hitting that corner. the Bombers did a fairly good job of trying to contain. Led to about a 3-yard gain on that play, right, Matt?
Yeah, going to bring up 3rd down and about 5 from the 31-yard line. Buckeye, 2 receivers near side, man in motion. And they will fake the handoff to Watkins, and the QB stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Nothing going there.
Nothing going on. Big stop by Timmy Matty. Broke through that line. Wasn't fooled by a thing on that. Basically, they were running that same jet sweep reverse that they were looking at the last play. Matty busted through the line, stuffed him. We're looking at a 4th and long.
Yeah, that would be if it's a field goal try, but they're not going to do that. The offense staying out on the field.
Yeah, what are you looking about, a 48-yard try from there?
I was thinking 48 or 49. So Kenston a chance to get a big stop here and get the ball back.
Bombers are filling the box.
Now 2 receivers, 1 on each side. And wave that off. A flag comes flying out. Delay of game called against Buckeye, and that is huge.
That's a big penalty. And this is 4-down territory inside the 40. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to go for it when it's at 4th and 11 versus 4th and 6. Looks like they are.
Well, 4th and 11 from the 36-yard line. They have to get to the 25 of Kenston. 2 receivers to the near side. Fake the handoff, play action. Durgee stepping up, feeling pressure, throws it up in the air. It is caught for a 1st down at the 19-yard line. A huge catch.
Big catch there by Clay Gunkelman over the middle. Brought down deep back there by the Bombers. It was Jonathan Abarno who stepped up and made the tackle. Little soft coverage back there. Fortunately giving up that 1st down. Long passing play.
Well, a couple of big plays now, 1 for each team, and that gives the Bucks a 1st down, 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Flag flying, stop the play, going to be a procedure call against Buckeye.
Well, let's see. With their backs up against the wall, let's see what this Bomber D can do.
Well, this Bomber defense at times has played bend but not break.
They were tested well late in that game last week, and that's exactly what they did. They bent, but they didn't break.
Bucks will send 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. They'll fake the handoff. Durgee looking to bounce it around left side, has a hole across the 15, on his feet, 10, and brought down near the 5-yard line by a host of Bombers.
That tackle was led by Cole Yarzenbeck, but gave him way too much opportunity to run. Some sloppy tackling up front, but it's a big quarterback on that. He turns around, makes that keeper. That's a big boy to bring down.
Now Durgee, 6'0", 240. First and goal from the 6. Up the middle. That was Nye, and Nye pounds his way across the 5, maybe down to the 3. Let's see where they spot this one. Well, it makes a difference when you've got some big boys up front opening up holes for your running back.
It sure does. I mean, you've got some good heft on that Buckeye offensive line there.
Second and goal. QB going to keep it himself, headed toward the end zone. He is in. And Durgee with the TD. And now the Bucks a point away from knotting this game up at 7.
Well, we knew, Matt, coming into this that there was going to be some scoring. And Bucks did a good job with a nice, long, steady drive there. They ate about 5.5 minutes off the clock. Did a nice job on that. Let's see if they can extend to 7-7 with this extra point attempt here.
Now PA attempt. Well, stop that. Too much movement up front. But Drew, you go back to that drive and that 4th down play, boy, Kenston could have that back.
Oh, I bet they wish they could. They had 5 yards in that penalty, tacked it back to 4th and 11, and fortunately they had that soft defense in there.
Now, Gunkelman did a nice job of reading that, came back to the football, made the catch. Other thing was that took up a lot of time on the clock now at the midway point here of the first quarter. PAT is underway, it is up, it is in the air, and it is good. So with 6:02 left to play, the Bucks have come back to tie this game up at 7 apiece. Well, we'll pause. We'll take a timeout, folks, because Kenston football is presented by GTV in cooperation with Blaster Corporation. Don't bust your knuckles. Bust your nuts with the #1 selling penetrant since 1957. PB Blaster, backed by a full line of pro-grade products formulated to penetrate, lubricate, loosen, overcome, fix, and conquer each job.
Matt, looking at this game coming into it, I was thinking a lot like this is a tennis match, and what we have to make sure here is just pay attention to who gets their service broken first, because both of these offenses are so strong, they're so powerful, and I think the first defensive hold is going to be really a big sign. It's going to help in the outcome of this game.
Well, that's a tremendous way to put it, kind of shedding a different light on it, but if you think back to that Chardon game, that game had the feel of whoever has the ball last. And now that kickoff again going to be a bit short, but fielded by Nutback around the 30, near the 35. And again, Kenston, good starting field position. We asked earlier, as this game began, were they going to dare kick it deep? And the answer so far has been no.
Yeah, they're scared of Middleton and Standy. Both of them have taken it back to the house this year and have outstanding outside speed. Yeah, but you're right, going back to the Chardon game, I mean, and it did. It came down to that last drive. You had Chardon, who had a 92-yard drive that came down, and on the last play of the game, ended up beating at that point in time the undefeated Bombers.
Well, and the good thing is for Kenston to go through a game like that, it gets you prepared for these postseason games, having to battle. Tom Kufsick from the gun, man in motion. They'll hand the ball off coming left side, and no gain on that run for Mintz.
2nd and 1, it's going to be interesting to see. We've got Tom Kufsick still back. You got Porter in the backfield.
Now bringing twins in the slot each side. They'll look inside. Get the call, nice audible. Tom Kufsick looking to throw across the middle. Ball is caught at the 45. A little bit of a move up near the first down marker, and Kenston, I believe, just put themselves in first down position, and they did. Look like a catch by Middleton.
Nice little short, 10-yard play by Middleton, right across the middle, moved the chains.
Well, Middleton found himself a spot right in the middle of the field. Good job hanging on to it. Now 1st and 10 from their own 47. Here comes Tom Kufsick and company. Give it to Porter. Porter, good move at the line, maybe picked up a yard or so. Not much there as that linebacking core came on quick, but I think it might have been the defensive line that got in particular. Austin DiBiasio, the senior, 5'10", 210.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. We're going to see the line, and there's usually a linebacker that's going to key on Porter. You can't help it. A kid comes in with 1,800+ yards rushing. You got to put somebody on him.
Tom Kufsick, a step up, dump it off. No, a little bit short, was looking for Mintz again. He was feeling the pressure that time.
He was. Look, I think looks like that ball may have gotten nicked down at the line on that throw, but regardless, not one of Tom Kufsick's best efforts, but brings up a 3rd and long for the Bombers.
Well, if you're a Buckeye, the one thing that you want to do is get pressure on Tom Kufsick, force him to throw a little bit early. When you don't, we've seen it already in this game, the potential to hit on big plays.
That's it. Unfortunately, some of these routes take a little bit long to develop, and he needs that time in the pocket for them to get out there.
Dropping back to pass, a little bit of time, picked it up, throwing over the middle. It is knocked down, nearly intercepted. Couple of Bucks were right there, but they collided into one another, and they potentially caught a break. It was Anthony Watkins and Dom Monaco, and they forgot to say, "I got it," as they were just racing towards one another.
Both did a good job on coverage. I'm not sure that was Tom Kufsik's best choice in throwing into triple coverage like that. 4th and long. Bombers are going for it.
They're loading up the field near side.
That's Grubich's MO. He's a little quick. Tom Kufsik with a quick pooch kick.
Will go out of bounds near the 30-yard line, although it might even be coming up beyond that. They're going to say the 32. Not bad. Get the ball, kick it out of bounds. No chance for a return.
None at all. But
no, we've seen
Buckeye held serve there.
They did, but we've seen the Bombers defense step up after making a couple adjustments. Let's see what they do differently here. 3 receiver set, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. 9 the backfield, gets the handoff, and the fullback across the 35 to about the 36, short pickup.
It's a big boy there, 6'3", what is he, 6'3", 6'2", 230. It's a nice size running back.
Well, when you look at him, and then there's Monaco, who's 6'3", 205, inch taller, 25 pounds less.
Yep.
QB going to keep himself, trying to go right side, bounce it off the line. No,
stopped by that big, beefy Bomber line. Who's at the bottom of that huddle?
Well, the Kenston defensive line has made a couple of big plays early on in this ball game. Clock running here, 3:27 and counting. Thank you for joining us here on GTV. From the gun, man goes in motion. Durgee gonna pass the ball. It's caught by Watkins, spun around and dropped for no gain. He might have lost a yard or 2.
There you go, that's Dorian Talley stepping up big. He had that one sniffed out the whole way. Dropped him for maybe a loss in that play, what the line was before. Still brings up 4th down there, now back in the punt position.
Yeah, a little tough to, I hate to say it, see it on the scoreboard over here. They couldn't make it any smaller.
No, they could not. Back deep for the Bombers is Branson Stanley, number 3.
High snap, though. They'll bring it down. It's a high kick. Will take a bounce and be down at the 30-yard line.
Bombers are going to take over on their own 30 with 2:33 remaining in the first quarter.
Boy, impressive kick by Armando Nye. So
anytime you can get it out of their hands, out of those receivers' hands, it's going to do well for your special teams.
Well, each defense gave up a touchdown. Now each defense with a defensive hold. And the Bombers coming back out for their 3rd time on offense. Tom Kufsik, 2 guys to the near side, a receiver far side. Porter gets the call. Porter across the 34 to about the 35. Nice short gain.
You look at Porter, he's been averaging, I think, about 4.8, 4.9 yards per carry this year, so that's right up his alley. Takes him a while to get warmed up. We've seen it through the whole season, but surprisingly, you look at the end of the game and he's got a couple 100 yards racked up, and you just shake your head going, where'd that come from?
When you can gain almost 5 yards a clip, it's pretty easy to do that, although it's not easy to actually gain those yards. Porter again gets the call. Straight ahead that time, picked up maybe 2 or 3 yards. Going to bring up 3rd down and manageable. So Kenston, we saw them pass the football a number of times on their first 2 drives, and now went to the ground these last 2 times.
Matt, I stand corrected on that. Porter's averaging 5.9 yards a carry.
On 3rd down, Tom Kufsik looking to throw over the middle, is caught for a 1st down, and on his feet across the 45 down to about the 44-yard line was Jay Middleton.
There he is on that drag right across the middle. Was wide open. has great solid hands and had a good about 12 yards after the catch.
Well, Kenston entered this game with making 43 of 125 third down conversions. They got it there.
Yep, big carry for Porter on that first down play. Gain of about 6. Makes it 2nd and 4.
So the Bombers moving quickly, and why not? They're starting to get a little bit of success. Porter again looking to go left side, closer to the first down marker. And for the Bucks, a steady dose of the run, or do you try to stop the pass? A lot of tough decisions in how you defend this team.
Pick your poison, and that's kind of the strength of this Bomber offense, is they've got weapons on whether they're going vertically or they're going to pound you up the middle. You're going to have to stop one of them.
Well, and very few teams have been able to do that consistently this year. Bombers able to put up some points. Tom Kufsick letting the clock run down, and now a flag comes out because it's a delay of game. Wait, did they get a timeout called? I think they might have gotten the timeout call. Drew, we'll have to wait and see what the officials say. They have not signaled.
It was almost a timeout signal and a flag at the same time. No flag on the play. Timeout Buckeye, timeout Kenston.
Well, Kenston able to get that timeout called. And we talked a little bit about this offense coming in. They put up 20 first downs last week. Not too bad in your first playoff game.
Not too bad at all.
13 rushing, 7 passing. You look at yardage, 493 yards last week, and boy, they would love to put up those kind of numbers again tonight. And it wasn't spread out that much. 287 on the ground, 206 through the air. Just shows you how much this team is balanced.
That's exactly it. And that's, like I said before, that defense has to pick its poison. What are you going to go after? And as soon as they do that, the Bombers going to find a way to exploit that.
3rd and 3 from the 38. Tom Kufsick will hand it off. Porter goes left side, picks up first down on his feet, makes a couple cuts across the 30. Porter the 25 where he's brought down.
Classic Jack Porter run right there. Came through the hole, very, very patient, followed his blockers. Big gain on the play.
Well, Kenston methodically picking up a first down as once this clock starts, time will expire, and it does. Well, after 1 quarter of play, this game tied at 7 between Kenston and Buckeye. And another chance, folks, to remind you that Kenston football brought to you by GTV and Blaster Corporation, makers of the #1 selling penetrant, PB Blaster, and backed by a full line of ProGrade products formulated to penetrate, lubricate, loosen, overcome, fix, and conquer each job. 7-7 is the score. We'll take a timeout, and as we do that, check out this clip here. It's against Revere back in 1995 as Andy Rule rips off a TD run.
Number 76, Tyson Waller leading the way. Andy Rule's up the middle for the touchdown. Rule scores from the 3, and Kenston's on the scoreboard.
Did you notice the minute the rain stopped, Rule went in? Very good drive by Kenston, eating up much of the first quarter.
2 minutes and 34 seconds left in the quarter as Andy Rule, with an excellent effort, a wonderful drive by Kenston on their opening possession. You're watching GTV coverage of the Division III Regional Semifinal Playoff game from Solon, and the Bombers start off the 3rd quarter leading 12-0. Andy Rule off right tackle for a nice gain to the 46-yard line, brought down on the play for Revere by Papano. After the mix-up exchange, it's 3rd down and 10 back at the 17. Out of the tee this time. Lieberth getting good protection. Puts one to the end zone. Andy Rule running under it for the touchdown. 17-yard reception by...
Welcome back, everyone. GTV. As we begin the 2nd quarter here, Kenston not quite ready to knock on the door, but they're close to the air. The ball is caught for a first down inside the 10-yard line. That's Branson Stanley with the big catch.
Big pass to open up the second quarter. You had Stanley on a deep route down the left sideline. Tom Kupsik threw it exactly where he needed to be. Stanley went up and grabbed it out of the air. First down, Bombers.
Tom Kupsik going to keep it himself toward the left side, and he's knocked out of bounds. A touchdown-saving tackle by Watkins. And Tom Kupsik, boy, he had everybody fooled.
That has been a go-to play for the Bombers throughout this year. Everybody's expecting that handoff to Porter. They do a great job of selling it. Tom Kupsik holds it in their belly right there until the end and makes it decide on that read option to run with it. Quick gain of about 10 on the play.
Going to bring up a 2nd and goal situation from the 4. This time it is Porter. Porter, a little bit of a counter, makes his way up. Well, actually, the officials may say no gain.
He was met solidly in the hole by Mickey LaRich, a senior, 5'11", 215 at linebacker. Just met Porter and said, "You're not going anywhere here, son."
Now 3rd and goal from the 5. Bombers will spread it out. Stanley Mintz near side, Middleton to the right. Porter in the backfield. Porter, they'll fake the handoff to him. Tom Kupsik looking to throw over the middle. It is caught. Touchdown, Bombers. Tyler Mintz.
Boom. Bomber touchdown. Mintz, he threw that into double coverage right there. It was a fantastic pass by Tom Kupsik. Knew exactly where he wanted to put the ball, put it there, and Mintz solidly put both hands on it. It's another Bomber touchdown.
Now that 5-yard touchdown reception breaks this early tie. And what a pass by Tom Kupsik, throwing into double coverage. That takes some confidence to be able to make that play. Sanders, the kick, and once again puts it through with 11:03 left to play. Kenston retakes the lead 14-7. Matt Jaworski, Drew Tewksbury with you here on GTV. It is week number 12 of the high school football season. It is the regional semifinals here in Division III, Region 9 of the Ohio High School Athletic Association football playoffs. And Kenston looking to get a win tonight and advance and face the winner of Canfield and Akron East.
2 big schools down there, Matt. It's going to be a tough game, whoever they play.
No.
But, this game's a long way from over, and these folks from Buckeye, it's a good, strong team there. By the way, that was Mintz's 10th touchdown catch of the year. He is one of Tom Kupsik's favorite targets. And last week, if nobody got to saw it, he had one of these amazing laid out in the left-hand corner of the end zone, dragged 1 foot, perfect catch to really change the momentum of that game.
This kick will be fielded at the 10-20. Watkins to the 30, and no more than that. Bombers there, some good coverage on the kickoff. And making the stop for Kenston was Logan Vargo. So the Bombers back out on defense, and this would be a good time for them to get a stop and keep the Bucks from a response touchdown. So Durgee, 2 backs in the backfield. Now he's going to send one off to the slot on the far side. He's going to keep it himself as he tries to cut around the corner. Breaks 1 tackle, still on his feet toward the sidelines. Picked up a few extra yards before he's brought down.
Boy, for a 240-pound quarterback, young man's got some wheels.
Yeah, he's got some speed, and boy, he made one of the Bombers look bad on that play.
Unfortunately, he did. Let's see if they can step up here at 2nd and 6.
Well, 2nd and 6 from the 34. They'll go to the ground, and that is, I believe, Nye. It is Armando Nye, the first down across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Well, This is what Buckeye does best. They love to run the football.
They absolutely do. That was a strong push on the offensive line. Right off the bat, they moved the Bomber defensive line back about 2.5, 3 yards, which
they'll run it again, and this time, not much going there. I think maybe a gain of maybe 2 yards on that play.
I think he was hit pretty aggressively right there by Logan Vargo. Vargo was coming in from his linebacker position and met him at the line of scrimmage. I don't think it was anything more than pure leg strength that helped him gain those 2 yards right there, Matt.
Well, the Bucks last week put up 245 yards of rushing. They'd love to exceed that mark tonight. I formation, they'll give it to the second man through. No, they don't. The ball was kept. It was actually Watkins, and Watkins was running a Wildcat-style offense, stuffed in the backfield, a huge loss.
Vargo again, right there, read it well, came in on a stunt, and dropped him. They get loss of about 11, 12 on that play.
Well, a play like that, you thank your scouts.
Absolutely.
You thank your coaches for getting you prepared for it. And that right there, quality coaching by the Bombers staff.
But they got to be careful here. Remember that 4th and 11 play in the first quarter.
3rd and 17 from the 35. Stepping up in the pocket, breaking the tackle, throwing it down the left side. It's picked off. Did Mintz stay in bounds is the question.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
The Bombers strike first and getting a turnover.
Another key interception by Tyler Mintz there.
Well, Durgee, I thought he was just going to take the sack and they would punt the football, but no, he threw it, and that was not a good decision.
It was not. It was almost one of those old NFL in the grass situations where I think he was expecting a whistle and decided to throw it and heave it away. Not a good decision on Durgee's part.
Kenston, this is their best starting field position of the night, up 14-7 here. 8:46 to go, second quarter. Trips near side, a receiver to the far side. Porter in the backfield to the right of Tuvkufsik's hip. Porter the call again, and Jack Porter just fighting his way for about 2-3 yards on that run.
I have a feeling you're going to start to see a little steady dose of Porter.
Well, if you're the Bucks, that's not good because Kenston has the boys up front. They love to wear down the opposing defensive line.
That's absolutely it. And you'll see Porter getting stronger and stronger, and the carries getting longer and longer throughout the game if they keep up this pace.
Now, it's amazing how many teams that run the spread offense can't do that. It's what makes Kenston so good. Tuvkufsik going to throw again. Left side, has a man, it's caught. That's Middleton at the 30, on his feet, breaks a couple tackles, the 20, the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Bombers. Boom.
Bomber touchdown, Jay Middleton. Fantastic pass, but more importantly, the run after the catch was fantastic, Matt. He broke 2 tackles and went 30 yards with untouched.
Yards after contact is huge, and Kenston got it there.
That is exactly what they needed after that turnover.
46 seconds after the INT, Kenston gets pay dirt. Although I don't know if you can call it pay dirt if we're on turf.
That's true.
Regardless, Sanders out to attempt a kick, and
maybe not.
Well, the question is who moved? Was it the offense or did the defense encroach? False start against the...
It's the Bombers, so it's going to back it up 5 yards. Fortunately, Sanders has got some pretty good range. I think her long on the season, I believe, is 32. So she's got some pretty good range. She's only missed 2 PATs out this year, so let's see if she can't split these uprights here in this point after attempt.
They're going to fake it. Running to the right side, trying to turn it up the field, and not much more will happen after that as the Bombers, what I think was some trickeration, although it's kind of tough to see.
Grubich is a gambler. He likes to go for it when the opportunity is right. I'm not certain that might have been the best play call when they moved it back that far, but
Well, it was Jonathan Abanero who was the holder on that play.
And Abarno's done he's done a nice job. He's a good, young, quick kid. He just couldn't get around the corner fast enough in that attempt there. So we'll see. Fortunately, we're still up. The Bombers are still up by 13 with 8 minutes to go in this half.
Well, that's the one thing you can do when you've got a lead, to be able to do something like that.
You're playing with house money at that point in time. It gives you that chance.
Well, you are. And if you're Coach Grubich, you have to like the way your defense has been playing so far in this second quarter, because for as good as they were in the first quarter, and granted they gave up that opening drive touchdown, they've seemed to turn up the intensity here.
I think they have, and one of the keys is that it's the pressure that they've been putting on the quarterback.
Torres, a high kick, fielded by Watkins, shy of the 15, and try to bounce it out near side, and Watkins spinning around. He will lose a couple yards. He initially had forward progress to the 30, but took it backwards.
Big group of Bomber tacklers there, led by number 51 on that play, which is Evan Freigeyer. Did a nice job stepping up. He and Brandon Schroeder did a fine job of holding him as he was trying to spin through that tackle.
Well, Bomber defense back out on the field as they ended the hopes of the Bucks on the last drive with a Mintz interception. It'll be Watkins around the left end.
Back to that sweep.
Watkins across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Well, and for Kenston, you know, if you're going to be okay if you give Watkins every now and then 3, 4, 5 yards on that end around. But what you don't want is him to bust off a 15, 20, or even a yard or longer run.
No, not a bit. But gives him 2nd and 6, and now they're going to give it to the big boy and see what happens.
Now Watkins again going in motion. They'll fake the handoff. Durgee on his feet across the 35 up near the 37-yard line. And boy, he's just like a second fullback.
What an asset to have in your backfield when you got a quarterback that's 240 pounds and can move like that young man. It's like having Roethlisberger back there. I don't think Roethlisberger can move that quickly, though, Matt.
No, Ben does not like to run from what the stats read. He's my fantasy QB, actually, so I know that.
Mine as well. Had a great night. 47 points last night.
I was dumb enough to start Cam Newton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That happens.
Bucks go for it on 3rd down. Well, I should say the Bucks ran the ball 3rd down. This one we got 4th down. Will they go for it's the question, and it's 4th and about 1.
Well, with the beef that they've got in that backfield, you got to think that they're going to try. Key here for the Bombers is to make sure that they've got the discipline and the patience not to jump off sides.
I formation on 4th down and about 1. And the QB going to keep it himself. No. Flag was their movement. Now, official's going to talk it over now.
Yeah.
Procedure against the offense.
Moves him back 5. That changes it. Changes from the ability to run that quarterback sneak like that again, Matt.
Well, it does. And, you know, Durgee, a guy coming in, a 1,000-yard runner.
Yeah.
Who averaging 6.6 yards per carry, 11 rushing touchdowns. Gets the bulk of the carries in this system.
Well, Stanley's back to receive the punt for the Bombers. Let's see if they actually punt.
Well, Gunkelman, we saw his last punt, and it was a very high punt. It was a great punt. They didn't give Stanley the opportunity to return it. And now, are they questioning the spot of the football, maybe? But whatever that was, they got it straightened out.
Nice snap, nice punt.
Stanley going to watch it go to the far side sideline and out of bounds. And one thing is, Drew, one thing is clear tonight. Buckeye wants nothing to do at all with the Kenston return game.
They don't. You see him kicking short on the kickoffs. trying to go wide on the punts. I think they've seen enough film to see that Stanley and Middleton can bring it back to the house when they need to. They're going to do everything they can to stay away from them. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Grube has here on this offensive possession. He's known to try and keep his foot on the throat of the opponent every chance he can. So wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him trying to air it out here with a little bit of time left on the clock here in the first half. Could be wrong.
And Kenston going to run the football.
Counterplay to Porter. Porter gains about 3 on that carry.
Now, Jack Porter on the year, you look at his stats, and frankly, they are eye-popping. 309 carries entering tonight, 1,835 yards. Boy, he has another regular night, and he's a 2,000-yard rusher.
Yep.
Aren't too many guys this side of the Cuyahoga who have that, him and C.J. Charleston.
That's it.
From Gilmore. End around. Mintz trying to turn it up the field, brought down around the 49-yard line.
Nice little end around for Mintz. He gained about 3.5 on the play. What do we got? 3rd down and 4, probably? 3rd down and 3?
Mintz, who came into this game 9 overall carries, so he doesn't touch the ball much as a runner.
No, he doesn't.
But boy, you give him the ball when you throw it up in the air, and he can make magic happen. 3rd and 3 from the 48. Tom Kufsick, 3 receivers. No, they'll give it to the workhorse. Mr. Porter across the 45, picks up the first down to the 44.
First down, Bombers.
Boy, Jack Porter just runs with so much power as he heads downfield.
And it's interesting. I mean, you get a kid that's, what, 5'10", 185 pounds, but he's got just fantastic leg strength, and he's just got that patience where he sees the right crevice and the right hole, works through it.
Tom Kufsick looking to throw, will dump it off right side. Was the ball caught? They're going to say yes. Tyler Mintz, how did he hang on to that? Because that ball was nearly picked off.
Wasn't that? I was questioning myself who had possession of that as it came down on that wide side of the field, because Mintz had one hand on it. It's like a one-hand grab, and I think it was a 50-50 ball at that point in time.
Yeah, and Mintz against Dom Monaco, I hate to say this, but Monaco has the height advantage there. A little bit bigger. I'm surprised he didn't come up with it. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 10, Bombers. Porter across the line of scrimmage and up to about the 41-yard line.
Going to give him about 3rd and 7 on that. Get about 3 yards.
Well, keep this in mind, folks. The Bucks will get the ball back to start the 3rd quarter, so this could very well be the Bombers' last possession of this half. 3rd down and long for Kenston. Tom Kufsick, well, stop the play.
Encroachment defense. We'll take that 5-yard penalty. That's going to make it 3rd and 2 now.
Now, we talked about Kenston's issues throughout the year, making mistakes with penalties. However, that's not been the case tonight. It's been Buckeye who has shown some nerves, if you will.
Surprising to see, because Buckeye's coming off last year having a playoff appearance as well, so you would think that they have a little bit of backbone on that when it comes to that discipline. But
especially since they just won their program's first ever playoff game last week against the Lions. Porter, I think he might have hopped over somebody as he made that 1st down run.
I think he did. I think he had a nice little hurdle there on that one. 1st down, Bombers. Looks like 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Well, Jack Porter, he has just blossomed into such a running back. Nearly every school in Lake and Geauga County would love to have him as a running back. Tom Kufsick going to throw it toward the end zone, up in the air, and it is incomplete. He had 2 receivers right in the vicinity and kind of threw it. I'm not even sure who was supposed to have made that catch.
I'm not
Mintz or
sure.
Stanley.
I'll tell you, the impressive thing on that is they came in with a safety blitz on that play that nobody picked up, and so Tom Kufsick was under unbelievable pressure, still stepped up and heaved that ball 35 yards in the air.
Yeah. Well, Tom Kufsick now 2nd down and 10 from the 32. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. He will hand the ball off. Porter left side makes a nice cut. Porter across the 25, and Porter should have another first down.
Chains are moving, Matt.
Well, chains moves, and the clock now under 2:40 to go here. Kenston doing what they want to do, because while they can score quickly, Buckeye, I don't think, has that ability. Porter again gets the call. Porter breaks a tackle across the 15 down inside the 14-yard line.
That young man just got a motor in him. Those legs do not stop churning. And he had a first initial hit there right at the line of scrimmage. Kept low, kept his legs turning, turned it into a 7-yard gain.
Well, it's amazing how the good players, the great running backs, just seem to know how to keep their legs moving. This one going to be given to Stanley left side as he gets the first down. So Branson Stanley will give the Bombers an and goal situation from about the 8.
Stanley's gotten the ball a number of times this year. He's gotten 10 carries for averaging 6.6 yards per carry. So they do give him the ball a little bit.
Well, no worry about the clock here. They got a couple timeouts left to go. Porter cuts it up the field around the 5. And the Bombers letting the clock go. Going to be second down.
Good use of vision on Porter there. He originally was going out wide on that, and he saw that the block was pushing that end deeper to the outside, so he cut it back up on the inside. Nice little gain on the play. 4th and with 4 yards to go into the goal.
Tom Kupsik feeling some pressure, stepping up, and he's dropped in the backfield. And it was Austin DiBiasio, one of the guys that got to him.
Can't tell, Matt. That might have been a broken play there.
Well, it certainly looked like it. Tom Kupsik, first off, the snap might have been a little off the mark, too.
Got a timeout on...
Kenston going to call a timeout here, 3rd and goal, as they are backed up to about the 10-yard line. And if you're the Bombers right now, you have a chance to at least get a field goal here, which will make up for that missed PAT, or that missed 2-point conversion. But on the other hand, boy, you'd love to get 6, if not 7.
Well, you would, and unfortunately, I think even if they get a field goal, although the points would be nice, it's a little bit of a moral victory there for the Bucks if they had the ability to stop this offense here. As they've had this nice long drive, there's under a minute to go here in the first half. If the Bucks can stop them here, they may have a little bit of a rallying cry going into that locker room.
Oh, it's what you don't want to do, is leave points on the table if you're Kenston. Bombers, looking on the bright side of this, they've now given their receivers a little bit more room to operate. They will empty out, well, spoke too soon. Porter coming out to the left of Tom Kupsik. 2 receivers near side, 2 to the far side. 3rd and goal from the 10. Tom Kupsik going to throw left side toward the end zone, and there's a pass interference penalty as Branson Stanley was wrestled down to the ground.
He was. He got just plowed right through there by number 2,
Anthony Watkins.
Watkins is all over the field.
That young man has been working very hard this first half.
Nice athlete.
Well, Drew, that stops the clock here with 55 seconds left to go. And they will spot the ball on the 5-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 5.
This is one of those times that I wish we had some of the college or the NFL rules.
Yeah.
That penalty in the end zone, but unfortunately in high school, we just get the yardage and the down.
I believe Kenston just burned their second timeout.
That they did.
So the Bombers going to call a timeout, think this over. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 5. And if you're wondering about the rule change, in the end zone, that is not an automatic first down. They changed that rule maybe about 2-3 years ago. But Kenston right now, this is a pivotal play call. And Drew, I think now if you're on the 5-yard line, this is definitely 2-down territory.
Without question. And I think what you're going to do here is I don't know, it's tough. You may look for a slant across the middle, or else just give it to the big back, give it to Porter, and let him just drive it home. Unfortunately, the Bombers are now out of timeouts, so they're going to have to end this pretty quickly here.
Well, even if they run the football unsuccessfully, more than enough time for a 4th down play no matter what it is.
Yep. And it's well within Anna Sanders' range if they want to kick that field goal. Wouldn't be surprised to see Tom Kufsick run this one.
Tom Kufsick dropping back to pass, looking, stepping up. Going to be flushed out left side. Going to throw it toward the end zone. Touchdown, Bombers! Middleton, another touchdown. Check that. It wasn't Middleton that time.
Jack Porter.
It was Jack Porter.
Tom Kufsick did a great job of scrambling, buying himself some time. Originally, Porter had drawn to the inside of the field, saw that his quarterback was running to the outside. He rolled out with him, created some space, and was wide open there in the corner of the end zone for 6.
Well, the touchdown extends Kenston's lead to 26-7, and the offense going to stay on the field to go for 2. Tom Kufsick will fake the handoff to Porter, throws left side and just over the outstretched arms of his intended receiver, Branson Stanley. Well, they can't convert the 2 points, but they got the TD, and they're starting to pull away now from Buckeye.
It's nice to go into halftime there with a 19-point lead, and there's still 49 seconds to go. And let's not discount the fact, Matt, that we talked early on in this game that this was 2 very, very potent offenses. We've not seen much of that out of the Buckeye Bucks right now, but there may be a sleeping giant in there that's going to get awakened if the Bombers aren't paying attention.
Well, up 26-7. One of the things that Buckeye has to be careful of, and I hate to say this, if you're a Bucks fan, 11 more points, and you've got a running clock.
That's it.
Which, hey, the Bombers will take that any day. Because they're deep, for as well as the offense has been playing, this defense just continues to impress.
They do. They've really done a good job of stepping up. Interesting story about Blake Torres, the kicker for the Bombers. His father, Kyle, is actually a member of the state-winning soccer championship team for the Kenston Bombers back in the early 90s. One of only 2 state championship teams in the history of the Bombers.
Kick goes to Gunkel around the, well, he's up to the 25, near the 30, and that will be it. We'll see what the Bucks decide to do here. 41 seconds left to go. They do have 2 timeouts. Question is, are they going to feel that they're in any position to throw the football? You look at what Durgee has done this year. He's only thrown for 580 yards total in his 11 games.
It just shows that they keep relying on that running game, and he's also got over 1,000 yards rushing. So I think the strength in Durgee is that those legs that he's under.
Well, one of the things that I'm surprised about, we haven't seen Don Monaco touch the ball that much in this game.
No, and you look at Monaco coming into this game, there's a little trickery there.
Trickeration end around to Watkins. Watkins stopped in the backfield. The Bombers were prepared, and Timmy Matty again with another big tackle.
It's that discipline. They just stay in their lanes and didn't get fooled by that trickery. But going back to the comment on Monaco, Monaco comes into this game with 40 career touchdowns. He's number 4 on the all-time list there for the Bucks. That's a strong, strong record to go behind. But he's been basically held to no action this game.
No, and you give credit to the Bomber defense for that. Buckeye will call their second timeout here with 28 seconds left to go. They're facing a 2nd down and 10, officially ball on the 29-yard line. Bomber defense now, and you almost have to think that they're going to start playing with this much time left to go, maybe a little bit of prevent. Now, and that's what they look like they're doing.
Exactly. They'll give up a couple first downs. Just don't give up the big, juicy play.
Durgee feeling some pressure, stepping up, going to throw it down the sidelines, incomplete, well over
and look
his
who the
intended target, Monaco.
There we go. I mean, you got a kid 6'4", 205 that runs like a gazelle like that. It's pretty interesting that they have not yet. That's his first target of the game, I believe.
Yeah, they have not looked at him in the receiving game. And really, this year, he just has 2 catches for 43 yards. Flag down near the line of scrimmage. This could be an interesting call.
Bombers look like they're backing. No? The Bucks are backing up. What do we got here?
Wow, Durgee, an illegal forward pass. He was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the football.
Again, it goes back to that pressure that's been consistent from that Bomber defense.
Now, I didn't think Kenston had the ability to decline this, but they are declining it.
Yep, making it 3rd down.
So 3rd down and 10 with 22 seconds left to go. And, you know, here's a thought. The Bombers might get the ball back for 1 play.
They very well could be, but I guarantee you they're not going to kick it to Stanley. We've seen that throughout the game, Matt.
Well, the officials now are conferring. And I think they were talking amongst themselves, can Kenston decline it? They said yes.
Let's start the clock.
So clock will run, 20 seconds left to go. It'll be a running play.
Yep.
And the big fullback, Armando Nye, across the 45-50 and brought down shy of the 40-yard line, near side with 11 seconds left to go. Buckeye, the time will temporarily stop while the chains reset. And I believe Buckeye has burned their final timeout. They have.
That was a nice play call there.
Well, a play like that, Kenston's okay giving that up.
Again, that bend, not break defense there.
Well, you're betting now that your defense will not give up a 42-yard touchdown pass or run. And when you look at what the Bucks have done from a passing standpoint this year, just 3 passing touchdowns over 11 weeks, folks. So the consensus is it's probably going to be, if anything, some kind of
a counter or what have you, try and see if they can't do it. There's only you got 1 down lineman for the Bombers right now, 3 backers, and the rest is filled with DBs.
Durgee
going out to the right side,
looking to throw it toward the left side. Was looking for Watkins. Nothing going there. Stops the clock with 6 seconds to go, and probably the final play of the half coming up next. Couple of receivers checking into the game for the Bucks, including Gunkelman. Don Monaco back in as well. Durgee dropping back, now stepping up, feeling some pressure. Gonna throw it toward the left side, and it's intercepted. And the Bombers tackle themselves as time expires, but hey, they got the turnover.
Was that Mintz on that interception?
I believe it was.
There's another key interception by Tyler Mintz.
Mintz, 2 picks in this half. And the Bombers head into halftime up by a score of 26-7. It has been dominance on the defensive side of the ball. And should probably say on the offensive side of the ball too, because the offense hasn't been too shabby either.
I would agree with you, Matt. The Bombers, fortunately, have been very consistent on both sides of the ball. Very few mental mistakes, and they've taken advantage of the opportunities. You look at the pick that they had early in the game. Within 46 seconds of that pick, they had turned it into 6 points. Not too shabby.
Well, Kenston football is presented by GTV in cooperation with Blaster Corporation. Don't bust your knuckles, bust your nuts with the #1 selling penetrant since 1957, PB Blaster, backed by a full line of pro-grade products formulated to penetrate, lubricate, loosen, overcome, fix, and conquer each job. Well, as we head to halftime, we invite you to stick around because we've got some music coming up next. The band going to be doing their thing. And even before that, here's another clip that we have. We went back in the archives again from 1995 versus Poland Seminary, and this time Andy Rule returns this interception for a touchdown.
A loss of 3. It's a 3rd and 4. The ball needs to get to the 39 for the first down. Morrell out of the eye once again. Quick two-step drop. Throws it flat, intercepted by Andy Rule. 30. Man to get by at the 20. Cuts back. 10. 5. Touchdown, Bombers! First.
There it is. That's probably the last person you want to intercept that ball, Andy.
Second and an eyelash for the Kenston score. Lieberth, Andy Rule, touchdown!
Yeah, it's an offensive score to go with his defensive interception earlier, and now Kenston's starting to pull away a tad bit.
And you won't get any complaints from this announcer, believe me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Kenston High School Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Jeff Link, Mr. Scott Sell, and Band Team Advisor, Mrs. Kathy Werner. The band is led onto the field by Senior Field Commander Krista Neiman and Junior Field Commander Sarah Soriol. It's time to put on your glitter glove, just one, because this evening's show will feature music made famous by the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. MJ's music and career changed the trajectory of pop music in the U.S. as he became an inspiration to generations of young artists. We begin tonight's show with Michael's 1988 hit, Smooth Criminal. Next, we're going back to the first album that launched MJ into stardom, along with his 4 brothers, the Jackson 5. Most recently featured in Guardians of the Galaxy, here is I Want You Back. Our final two selections in tonight's performance feature our fantastic Bomberette dance team. The first tune was Billboard's #1 song in 1984. This is Beat It. Now moonwalk back with us for the final selection this evening to the #1 selling song of all time, Michael's immortal Thriller. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenston High School Marching Band.
Tonight's special telecast is being brought to you through a unique arrangement between GTV, Tom Porter, and Blaster Corporation. Founded over 22 years ago, GTV is the local educational and community channel programming service supported by cable fees in communities in northern Geauga County. GTV provides coverage of local community events and hundreds of hours of school programming on Spectrum Cable and on the internet. GTV would like to serve Bainbridge and the Kenston schools community. This can only be done through a 5% cable fee. That fee was removed from cable bills in Bainbridge years ago by a previous Board of Trustees. If you'd like local and school programming restored to your cable service, please let your Bainbridge trustees know you want your GTV.
Check with pure speed. The lane was open up for Rhea to cutting in the end zone. The speed of Cape just took away that lane.
3rd and goal from the 3. Dinallo takes it into the end zone. Mike Dinallo takes it for the score, and it's 7-6. We're going right down to the wire here at Ohio Stadium.
3rd and goal for Kenston. Mark it almost exactly on the St. Clairsville 1-yard line. 3:15 to play, 3rd quarter. The give to McClintock, and he's in for the score. Ken McClintock over from the 1 for the touchdown. And with 3 minutes and 11 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter, it's St. Clairsville 21, Kenston 16.
Ladies and gentlemen, the clip you just saw was from the 1986 state championship game at Ohio Stadium, where the Bombers took on Cape. Carlos Snow's team. Mike Dinallo scores a lone TD here, and then the 1986 team had Andy Gerd, Judah Herman, who both went on to play inside linebacker at Ohio State University with Carlos Snow.
Wow, that was some Kenston team.
They were an outstanding bunch of athletes in that team. They actually even had an offensive tackle and defensive tackle, a guy named Daryl Wadecki, that went on to play at Notre Dame for 4 years. So they were stacked with talent on that team. Too bad they came up short.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoy seeing some of these clips as we take a trip down memory lane here, and hopefully we'll be one day looking back and saying, boy, these Bombers, the run that they made here in 2018.
Could be. There's still 24 minutes of football left in this game, and I have a feeling that these Buckeye Bucks are not going to go down easy.
Well, it is 26-7 Kenston here as we begin the 3rd quarter. Matt Jaworski, Drew Tewksbury with you. It was a fun first half for the Bombers, and Watkins will pick that one up just in front of the 5, come near side to the 20 where he is brought down.
Great open field tackle by Dorian Talley. Grabbed him up high and just completely wrestled him down. Kind of looked like somebody wrestling down a steer out west.
Yes, it did.
Let's see if that Bomber D can stop this offense here. It'd be a big statement coming out of halftime.
Well, we had some weather during halftime, but I'm looking out the window to our left, and it looks like it has gone away, which is good news for the Bombers. Durgee getting a 1st and 10 from his 19. I formation behind him. They'll go to the ground, and the give is to Monaco. Monaco up to the 25-yard line.
Brought down by Matt Icludi. Icludi's been a little quiet today, but that's an all Northeast Ohio linebacker there for senior number 6.
Now, we saw the Bomber defense on their first go-around in the 1st quarter give up a touchdown. That's been the lone score. They have picked up their play, picked up their intensity since. Of course, you expect Buckeye to come out and make some changes here. They will hand the ball off Nye. Left side is Nye is close to the 1st down mark. He may just get it, and he does up to the 31. So Armando Nye, that 1st down run will move the chains.
Let's go, G! Hey, sideline, let's go!
Well, in these slightly wet conditions, handing off to a 230-pound fullback is not a bad call.
No, and Nye, a young man that averages about 7 yards a carry when he gets the call. So 1st and 10 from the 31. Watkins in motion. Durgee gets it, tries to go straight ahead. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it.
Bombers were not fooled on that one. stuffed in the middle, led by number 11 on the Bombers. That's Joe Staudenbauer for that. Stepped up, closed the hole.
Well, he laid a good lick on Durgee. That was a solid hit. Durgee trying to get Nye set up to his right. Now Monaco going to come out of the backfield, line up in the slot near side. They're going to give it to Monaco on the screen, and Monaco wrapped up and dropped for a loss.
Drilled right at loss of about 2. Was that Stanley or Mintz on that? I can't tell. It looks like it was Tyler Mintz on that stop. Big play by Mintz coming up to stuff out and sniffed out that play the whole way.
Now again, that's just great coaching, getting your team prepared for such a play. Now 3rd down and 11 from the 30. Boy, the Bomber defense picking up right where they left off. Durgee from the gun, dropping back to pass, feeling some pressure, stepping up in the pocket, and he will be brought down again.
Brought down by a group of Bomber tacklers. Timmy Matty in on that play.
Saw
as well.
Staudenbauer,
Valachi was in on that one. As they would say back in Kenston country, that was a squadron of Bomber tacklers.
Well, the Bombers force a 3 and out on their first possession. They brought the heat, and now they nearly block that punt. It's a high punt that will take a Bomber bounce and be batted back. But
I'm not sure you can do that, but
yeah, officials say it's where you touched it. Yep. So Bombers have had excellent field position throughout this game.
Consistently, I don't think they've been deeper than the 32 yard line the whole game.
They will begin with the ball on their own 43 yard line. And boy, if you're Buckeye, that is a lot of pressure on your defense when the Bombers are basically starting near midfield every single time. So out comes the Kenston offense, and what a first half it was for Tom Kufsick. 8 of 12, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nice completion there from Tom Kufsick to Mintz. Gain of about 5 on the play. You're gonna have 2nd and 5 from the 48 yard line.
Well, you look at a couple other things. Porter, 16 carries, 72 yards, and he had a touchdown receiving and a touchdown running the football. Middleton, 4 receptions, 137 yards and a touchdown. Porter gets the call. Porter across midfield and gets another first down. He's picking up right where he's left off as well.
We talked about it early on in the game, Matt, but this is the point where that big old offensive line just starts to wear down the opponents.
Well, and for Kenston, as the officials trying to get the chains situated, this performance against this team, no letdown after that Week 11 victory. They look even more focused and more intense.
Well, Coach Grubich from the beginning has been talking to these young men about consistency and commitment.
Tom Kufsick pass left side, it is caught Stanley, and he has a nice gain.
The theme for this year has been vengeance .3 for the Bombers, which goes back to the fact that last year they had an 8-2 record and they lost making it into the playoffs by 0.3 of a point. So everything has been about that vengeance .3. Just really, really helped them with focus.
Well, there was a News Herald article, I'm trying to remember which week it was, but it talked about the revenge tour, if you will, as Porter gets the handoff, goes up the middle for a short gain. And it was interesting because, you know, a lot of coaches don't like to talk about the previous year because different players, different team, it's past history. But Coach Grubich and these players were saying, you know, it was those 2 losses last year that kept us out, and we're out for revenge because we want to make the playoffs this year.
Well, almost midway through the 3rd quarter, they're acting like a playoff team.
Well, they're acting like a team that has more. Porter dragging somebody across the field. up to the 30-yard line.
I think Porter carried Jacob Stahl there, a 6'3", 174-pound linebacker. Carried him for a good 4 or 5 yards.
I'm not sure what Stahl was hanging on to, but he could do nothing to slow Porter down. Looks like Porter's running with the old parachute.
Stanley on the sweep. Uses his speed to get to the corner. Broke the corner.
Well, that's a great run by Stanley. A big first down, in Kenston continuing to spread the field. And what we've seen them do tonight, folks, is they've had several big pass plays through the air to get guys out of the box. And then they've been able to run the ball around the edges to keep them from getting in the middle.
That's it. That's a nice balanced offensive attack that they've got. That's just keeping the defense off guard.
Now, and it has benefited Porter. Tom Kufsick will send a man in motion. He will hand the ball off. Looking to make a cut. Bouncing around.
Middleton.
And Middleton. Now a late flag. I'm not sure what this one's for.
I don't know. It almost looked like the ball had come out, but it clearly didn't. But I'm not sure what it was for.
No, personal foul. Dead ball personal foul call against Kenston. That will back them up 15 yards.
It's a big penalty there on old number 73, Mr. Robarge. That negates that big play. Let's see what can happen here in second and long with the Bombers.
Well, second down and about 23 from the 28. They need to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. Very doable, though. Kenston with 3 receivers left side, and it's Stanley, the lone wideout, near side. Porter to the left of Tom Kufsick. Tom Kufsick, a quick throw left side, and it's going to be incomplete as he was looking for Middleton.
If there's been any criticism at all this year on Tom Kufsick, is some of his passes he just ends up getting a little bit too much under the air underneath the ball. And that stretches the receiver out, makes him vulnerable. But sometimes when you got wind like he's got right now, that ball ended up sailing.
Now, Drew, I didn't get a chance to really watch Kenston throughout this season. Did Tom Kufsick wear a glove on his passing hand the whole year?
No, he did not. He did not, so that's something new.
So, and with this weather, you do what you can to help you grip the football. Tom Kufsick dropping back to pass, looking left side, going to step up, throw over the middle. The ball is caught. That's going to be a first down for Porter as he gets inside the 5, down to about the 3.
Big play for Porter. Got open, had coverage by the linebacker on that, blew past the linebacker. The safeties were committed, and bam, wide open, deep pass, first down Bombers.
Well, Porter had to go up. He's only 5'10" as listed on the roster, but he used everything he could to get up and make that catch. And what a spectacular catch it was. It's now first and goal from the 3. Tom Kufsick, left side, tripped up, stays on his feet. Touchdown, Bombers.
Great balance shown by Johnny Tom Kufsick there. Tom Kufsick's the second leading rusher on the Bombers, so outstanding. Boom, Bomber touchdown.
Now the John Tom Kufsick 3-yard touchdown run gives Kenston a 32-7 lead, and Anna Sanders coming out now to attempt another PAT. Sanders is true on that kick, and it's now 33-7. And Kenston pouring it on here in the third quarter.
Great story about Anna Sanders. Last year, early in the season, both kickers that the Bombers had on the squad went down to injury. One of them actually was another female, a young lady named Brianna Yurkovich, who blew out her ACL playing soccer. But the 2 kickers were out. Anna was actually part of the training team as a trainer and came up to Coach Grubich and said, hey, do you mind if I try? And look what happens. 2 years later, she's second team all Northeast Ohio and doing a fantastic job for the Bombers.
Well, she has really helped solidify the special teams here at Kenston. We talked about the fact that she's been nearly perfect in PATs. And then there's Blake Torres, who handles the kickoff duties, and he has been stellar in that aspect of his job as well.
Once again, great coverage by the Bombers. Ball down at about the 23-yard line. There had to be at least 7 Bomber tacklers in on that kickoff. Nice job, Bombers. Well, it's that time of the game, Matt, where we're going to have to start to see something out of this Buck offense here. They're running out of time. They've got 5 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the third quarter. This is a pretty critical offensive possession for them.
Yeah, if they can't get anything going here, they face the potential of getting a running clock going if Kenston gets in the scoreboard again. Handoff Watkins, left side. Watkins on his feet, makes a good move. 40. Watkins trying to turn on the burners, brought down from behind as he crosses midfield. Biggest run of the night for the Bucks.
Well, that shows that speed of Watkins. Got right around, cut the edge, planted his left foot, and drove straight down the field. Nice run.
So the Bucks now with a 1st and 10 on the Kenston 45-yard line. They're going to pitch it Monaco, left side. Monaco tackled short of the 45-yard line. Then a late flag comes out. And if this is another personal foul penalty,
boy,
the Bombers will be in some trouble.
Absolutely. Yep.
It was Talley that got the personal foul called on him.
Getting a little chippy out there, which they don't need to be doing when they're up by 26 points.
No, and
that's that discipline we talked about early on that they got to maintain.
Well, they showed so much discipline in the first half, and you hate to see things go awry here in the second half, because if you win, your next opponent's going to be looking at that and thinking, boy, as that time it's Nye who gets the first down across the 20 down near the 16-yard line. But boy, you do not want to give a potential opposition something to think about.
No, you look at that, that's 30 yards in penalties just on this drive alone.
So 1st and 10, Bucks now from the 16-yard line. And Buckeye playing for their football life on this drive. They will hand the ball off. Monaco on his feet across the 10 down to the 5, and it'll be a 1st and goal situation for the Bucks.
Fortunately, he was brought down. Mintz was playing safety, stepped up and made a nice open field tackle to stop that touchdown, but they're still inside the 5-yard line now. 1st and goal.
So Jacob Durgee, I formation behind him, 2 receivers, 1 on each side. It's 1st and goal from the 4. His team trailing 33-7. And loose ball on the ground.
Looks like the Bucks have come up with it.
Fumble on the play recovered by Buckeye.
Now Buckeye recovered the football.
Maybe small blessing in disguise there, loss of about 3 on that play. Still 2nd and goal.
Yeah, it might have been Michael Knoll who came up with that recovery. Good break, though, for the Bombers. It's now 2nd and goal from the 6. Same exact formation. Durgee will hand it off. Monaco bouncing around, stuffed at the line.
Absolutely nothing. The interior line completely collapsed on that play and allowed linebacker Joe Stodenbauer to step in and just finish it off.
It's now 3rd and goal, and they will move this ball back to the we'll say 7-yard line. Actually, scoreboard reads 8, so we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
Now 2 receivers near side, 1 to far side, 1 back in the backfield. That's Nye. They will hand it off. Nye coming up near the 5 on his feet. No.
Big charge led there by Logan Vargo. Who else was in on that? Was that number 23, looks like? No, number 20 in on that, Jacob Engelhardt.
So here we go.
Or Anthony Velacci, I apologize, folks.
It is 4th down and goal from the 5. And no doubt about it, if you're Buckeye, you have to go for it here. A field goal does you no good.
Indeed. They're playing quick. See if the Bombers can react.
Offset motion. Actually, check that pistol formation. And they will fake the handoff, looking to throw toward the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Bucks.
A rare passing touchdown. What do they had 3 going into this game?
Indeed, and that was Logan Scholes, the tight end, who made that touchdown reception, number 87. However, there's a late flag down. Let's see what this call is going to be. Will it wipe out the touchdown? Officials huddling, and now the Kenston defense coming toward the hash marks, getting a little bit of, getting something communicated into them. But the fact that they're staying on the field.
Matt was at a personal foul. They're backing him up 15 yards. They're now at the 25-yard line.
I believe so, and it's going to be.
It's going to be. Do they loss of down on that, or are they going to?
Did he just say 4th and? I think he might have said 4th and goal.
If so, that's 4th and goal from the 25-yard line.
It is. So wipe that touchdown off. There was a personal foul that occurred before the touchdown. So it's now 4th down and goal from the 25-yard line. Boy, that's a big blow for the Bucks. And there's going to be another penalty. Dirging in a run and be brought down well shy of the end zone.
Let's see what this flag is.
Should be illegal procedure.
On the offense, I saw.
Yeah, they had a man who was going in motion forward before the
the Bombers take over on downs. Big momentum changer there, Matt.
It looked like it was Zach Weber, who I don't know how else to describe it other than almost an arena-style play, to where he made the turn forward. And it's a timing play is what it is. But the problem was he turned the corner and started to go upfield before the ball was snapped. And that's where that penalty came out.
Well, that vaunted Bomber offense is back on the field. Let's see if Tom Kufsa can take advantage of this. That was a huge momentum shift there. Porter.
Nice run by Porter, picks up a few yards. The clock will run as there's a little bit more than a minute to go here in this 3rd quarter. And boy, Kenston, you can almost taste it now. A spot in that regional final.
A little bit of time left on the clock, Matt, but I agree with you, especially when they can come up with a stop like that. But it's all about capitalizing on opportunities. Let's see what they can do to seize this opportunity. Porter with a big run.
Another 1st down, and the Bombers are just starting to move the ball at will. And you look at the body language of the Buckeyes, and they appear to be a little bit dejected. You're starting to see guys' hands on their hips.
And you see that big Bomber offensive line standing up straight.
Down to 30 seconds here in the third. Tom Kufsick from the gun. Another give to Porter. More yardage. Porter has a man in front of him trying to open up a hole, and Porter across midfield with the 45.
Huge, huge play on there, Matt. At the snap, that big offensive line of the Bombers drove the defensive line 4 yards back before Porter even hit the hole. And once he did, the only thing that stopped Porter was he ran into his own man after about 12 yards.
Well, that was the final play, or will be the final play, of the third quarter, and the Bombers are on the move, folks. Well, as we head into the third, this is another good time to remind you, Kenston football brought to you by GTV and Blaster Corporation, makers of the #1 selling penetrant, PB Blaster, and backed by a full line of pro-grade products formulated to penetrate, lubricate, loosen, overcome and fix, and conquer each job.
There's a clip, everybody, that shows the 1995 state semifinal game against St. Clairsville. Mike Donalo to Tony Rhea, with Donalo on a sneak with seconds to go to win the game. Tyson Walter was on this team. Tyson went on to play, have a great 4-year career at Ohio State, and then went on to play with the Buckeyes, the Texans, the Redskins, and even the Green Bay Packers. What a great year for the Bomber football program back in 1995.
Timeouts to get down and it's either the end of the season for the Kenston Bombers or a trip to Columbus. It's in their hands right now.
1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Dinallo stepping back into the pocket. Fires long downfield. He's got Tony Reed. He's got the football. 40, 35, 30. Vincent chasing him 25, 20. He runs them down at the 13-yard line, but the Bombers are knocking on the door. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the St. Clairsville 13-yard line.
This is like something written by a Hollywood scriptwriter. Exactly how you would have it, the longest yard, that sort of stuff. Just great, great football.
28 seconds to play. Here's the give, and it's a touchdown for Kenston. A touchdown for Kenston. 25 seconds to play in the game, and the Bombers lead at 22-21. Look at those happy Kenston Bombers and their coaches.
So, Matt, you're a betting man. What do you think the Bombers are going to do now?
Oh, we're going to see more of the same, I got a feeling. It's going to be a steady dose, at least by my guess, for this drive, at least, of good old number 5. Hey, look at that.
There you go.
Porter, another call, and Jack Porter just pushing the pile forward. And we have an injury. One of the Bucks down.
Nice display of sportsmanship there by Bombers. Young man was down on his back and looked like big old number 77 for the Bombers. Reached over to try and give him a hand up.
Yeah, Sell went down, tried to help him get off the field. And eventually you see Mickey LaRicci getting up and being helped off the field. So that's a good sign.
Yep. Indeed, you don't want to see any of these young men hurt.
No. 33-7 is the score. Matt Jaworski, Drew Tewksbury with you as, well, it's the final quarter of the season for one of these two teams. And Porter, for one of the few times today, has been stopped for little or no gain.
Still, 3rd and 5.
You know, you look at this in Kenston throughout most of the night, and maybe once or twice they've had 3rd and long, but it's been 3rd and medium or 3rd and short. And boy, you continue to put yourself in those positions and good things happen.
Well, they really do, and I think that's testament to the fact that you got a back that's averaging 5.9 yards per carry on the season. And then you give it to the scat guy there, right there, Middleton, who breaks, turns the corner. I think he's going to be just short of the first down on that play.
Well, and I like what Middleton did. He knew where the first down marker was, made a beeline for it. The question is, did he get out of bounds just prior to, or did he make it? They're going to say about a yard short. Actually, 2.
Yeah.
He has to get to the 35 of Buckeye. They're at the 37. So here we go. 4th down and 2. Bombers going for it, and why not? Nothing to lose
Nope.
here.
Coach Grubich does not like to punt.
Bit of a high snap, and Porter picks up the first down as he crosses the 35 out to about the 31-yard line. And the Bombers are on a mission, and they cannot be stopped right now.
Not at this moment. I'd love to know what their third down conversion is in this game. They've got to be 80% on the game. What do we have? They have one Tom Kufsick punt, if I remember correctly, early, middle of the second quarter.
Yeah, it was just that little pooch punt on their second possession. They give Middleton around the right side running room. 25 on his feet. 20 still on his feet. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Actually, check that. That is Tyler Mintz.
Boom, Bomber touchdown. Tyler Mintz with a fantastic run. How he tiptoed on that sideline, Matt, that was absolutely fantastic. I thought he was going to be down about the 14-yard line. He broke through a tackle and then just tiptoed right down the Bomber sideline into the end zone. Fantastic, fantastic run by Tyler Mintz.
Mintz, what an athletic run. And Kenston has officially blown this game wide open.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will begin the running clock.
Now Kenston needs one more player to have enough for the PAT. There they go. Sanders gets the kick, and it's good. So a 10-15 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Kenston now leads this one 40-7. And folks, you may be making plans for a game next week.
Indeed. At halftime, I don't remember catching the score, but wasn't it a pretty close game between East and Canfield? I think it was about a 3-point game.
It was a 3-point difference at halftime between those two schools. And I'll tell you what, I got to see Canfield in week number 3 take on Chardon. And they're a very dangerous team. A team that, much like Kenston, can do it on the ground, can do it in the air. They have dual quarterbacks.
Really?
One of them is a running quarterback, and he just lit up the Hilltoppers. And then last week I had a chance to see East defeat Chardon, and that's a team that that really will run the football. Very athletic, though. They have a lot of kids who came from Hoban.
And if you're getting kids that are coming out of the #1 program in the state, not too shabby.
Not at all. This is the first time in, I think it was 18 years, that the Akron City League has 2 schools in the playoffs. Them and Buchtel.
Torres's kickoff is fairly deep, but once again, the Bombers' kickoff team has done a great job holding that return back down. There looks like about the 30-yard line.
Well,
just like we talked before, though, you look at the starting position, field position for the Bucks versus the Bombers. The Bombers have been consistently north of the 35, short of the 50, and the Bucks have been deep. That takes its toll. It's all about field position when we're looking this game out.
Well, field position, and this Buckeye team just not built to come back from behind. They're going to run the football and nigh across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. But they've got to figure something out here because they're down by 33 with about 9 minutes to go. And, you know, the nice thing for Kenston, too, is at some point in time, you can start to get some of the backups into this contest. Kids that have worked their butts off during practice and give them a little bit of playoff experience.
That's exactly it. It'd be real interesting to see when they come out on the offense if there is well, let's not get ahead of ourselves
now,
here,
Monaco
Matt.
with that run to midfield.
The Bombers have a sophomore tailback, a kid named Stanley Sell. That's 5'10", about $185. That is just an absolute jackhammer of a running back. And usually when they're up by 30, they tend to throw Stanley the Steamer in and let him roll for those all-purpose yards there.
Well, I formation for Buckeye. They'll fake the pass. Durgee gonna throw down the middle of the field. It's complete to Nye. Nye gonna cut to the right side, 25-20, and Nye brought down around the 15-yard line. First down for the Bucks. And Drew, this is what Buckeye has to do here. Is they've got to score, and they've got to score quickly and in bunches.
Well, they have to. And in that case, it was a great play by Durgee, who was under some significant pressure by Logan Vargo, who came off the corner. And he hit Nye right over the middle with a nice pass and a good run after the catch.
First and 10 from the 15. Buckeye will hand it off, and that's Monaco. Monaco shy of the 10-yard line.
Well, let's see what kind of resolve this Bomber defense has. Even though they're up by 33 points, they know full well that they've got to be resolute here. Coach Grubich isn't going to stand for any weakness.
No. Well, they want to keep this running clock going, too.
Yeah, almost halfway through the fourth quarter.
Pitch, Monaco makes his way up near the 5, still on his feet. And Monaco should have gotten the first down. Indeed, he did.
First and goal, Bucks.
Well, the last time we saw Buckeye back in this position, they had a big penalty, a personal foul that took them way back and out of scoring range.
They got big Mike Knoll in a quarterback under center, 6'6", 205.
Hands it off the first man through, which is Nye, and Nye maybe gains a yard on that play.
That's an interesting change up there, taking Durgee out and throwing the 6'6" Knoll in there.
Well, you look at what Durgee has done this year, and from a running standpoint, 11 rushing touchdowns. Again, Monaco with 20, Nye with 7.
I don't even see Durgee in the game.
Another handoff, Monaco spinning around, still on his feet and brought down. Looked to be Maddie again with another tackle.
Maddie's done an outstanding job stopping today. Third and goal.
Now the Bomber defense trying to be up to the task here. Another handoff, Monaco toward the end zone. No, stopped again.
Big stop by the Bombers.
It will bring up 4th and goal from inside the 3-yard line. So the ball on the 2.
At 6'6", Knoll could lean forward for this one. Let's see how much this means to the Bombers.
Now I formation, and it's Monaco. He's in for the touchdown.
Relatively easy on that one.
Well, he saw a spot on the right side that was open, and he powered through it to get the 3-yard touchdown run.
Looks like Gunkelman back on to attempt the extra point here for the Bucks.
Now the wind now starting to pick up as the rain / snow / whatever you want to call it begins to come on down. A little bit of a high snap, but the kick is underway. It is up and it is good with 4:05 left to go. The Bucks cut the lead. It is now Kenston 40 and Buckeye 14. With that score, it also stops the running clock. However, the question now, Drew, with about 4 minutes to play, do you see the starters on offense?
I have a feeling at this point in time, Coach Grube is going to keep those starters in and try and grind out a nice, long, methodical drive, eat up as much clock as he can. He's got an all-state running back in there that's just gobbling up yards. Makes sense to me that they're just going to start to whittle away as much as they can. Even if they can knock off a nice two-minute drive here, something like that, they've got, this is, they're down by 26, so lots got to happen. Question is, are the hands team out there? You think they'd throw onside?
Yes, they are. Porter is one of the guys up near midfield. Ball knocked off the tee. It's just Tyler Mintz, the lone man deep to receive the Gunkelman kickoff.
Boy, and the way that Mintz runs, that's not a whole big break instead of having Stanley or Middleton back there.
It's going to be a high short kick and a flag. I believe there's going to be an offsides called on that play. Well, penalties have been a factor today for Buckeye.
I'd like to think that it may just be a little bit of nerves. You don't get this far without being a well-disciplined football team. So.
Now, from what we understand, Canfield pulling away from Easton. It looks like at this juncture, going to be Kenston and Canfield, the top two teams in Division III Region 9. They'll get a chance to go at it next week. That ball, it's a live ball. Mintz picks it up around the 30, looking to cut it out, going to bounce it out around the near side. 40, 45, 50, and Mintz crosses midfield, and a flag laid again. More extracurricular.
Yep.
Now going to be a penalty against the Bombers. Wipes out that great return. As the ball will be spotted back at the
37.
Yeah.
Still pretty decent field position to start off with.
And what's crazy is that's some of their worst field position of the day.
That's exactly it, Matt. But there's a little bit of a crack into discipline there. You don't have that, but you know, when you've got a run like that where you're coming completely reversing field, it is hard to stay on the block.
Stanley Sell into the game at running back. Tom Kupsik remains in at QB. Sell spinning around. Did he lose the football? He did.
Fumble recovered by Buckeye.
He had it stripped away from him as he was being spun around. And the Bombers will turn the ball over on that fumble here with 3:47 left to go, giving Buckeye a tiny bit of hope.
Not what the Bombers wanted to see. Usually when they put Stanley Sell in, it's a nice, reliable, eat-up-the-clock type of a running back. But sophomore put the ball on the field and ends up with the Buckeye ball.
And you know, Sell probably feels worse than anybody about what just happened there. High formation, and Knoll flushing out will try to throw it, and ball is going to be dropped. A little bit of a juggle act there by Nye, but not much more could happen.
Yeah, real interesting to find out what happened to Durkee. He's been out for now. This is the second series that Knoll's been in at quarterback. I didn't see anything visible from an injury perspective early on with Berge. Maybe just they're looking that Knoll might be a better passing quarterback.
Well, Knoll is a senior, and maybe it's just a matter of him getting a little bit of playing time here in what will likely be his final game. Just speculation on my part.
That's that positivity in you, Matt, that everybody loves.
Most people. First down as Nye gets a good run across the 30 down near the 25-yard line.
Bombers are going to need to stiffen up a little bit here.
Now it remains, in case you're wondering, that first team defense out there that's giving up these runs. Pitch spinning around Monaco, and Monaco gains about 5 yards on that play. Now the good news for Kenston at this point in time, your best friend is the clock.
It is.
And the clock continues to go, now under 3 minutes left in this one. Knoll fakes the handoff, will throw toward the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Good, tight coverage back there. Is that Middleton on the coverage?
Logan Vargo.
Logan Vargo from his linebacker spot. Nice job, Logan.
And I think that it's Logan Schultz who's down and shaken up. It is. It's the tight end. He's able to get up, though.
That's good to see.
Might have just had the wind knocked out of him the way that he fell to the ground.
3rd down and 6. 3rd down and 5, according to the scoreboard.
Handoff Monaco, and Monaco powers his way to about the 20-yard line.
Still about 2 yards short. It's going to come up with a 4th and 2, which we've seen the Bucks convert on these short.
Well, each of these teams entered tonight with 1 loss on the year. And Kenston, barring anything crazy happening, will remain the 1-loss team. Give is Nye, and Nye has the first down.
Good thing about that, though, they're bringing him down right in the middle of the field. Other than a short stop to move the chains, that clock's under 2 minutes right now. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the game. Bombers lead 40-44.
Well, you hate to see Kenston give up all these chunks of yardage kind of in with the game out of reach at this point in time. Buckeye just playing for pride at this stage. Handoff, Watkins. Watkins trying to get around the end, and Watkins does. Looks like he got the first down, and it will be another and goal situation for Buckeye.
That young man has had an outstanding game today, both offensively and defensively. He's got exceptional speed to the corner.
1st and goal for Buckeye.
I think that is the favorite thing for the Bomber sideline to see right now, is that white hat spinning his arm.
Now clock down to 1:20 to go. The pitch left side and in the end zone is Monaco. And Sam Monaco, another touchdown, that time a 5-yard run.
That's Monaco's 2nd on the game. That bumps his career record up to 42 touchdowns. That is pretty impressive by any measure.
Now Monaco entered this game in very elite territory as they're out to attempt the PAT. Gunkelman, good snap, good boot, and it is good. So with 1:13 to play in this one, it is 40-21 Kenston. But anyways, Dominic Monaco, 40 touchdowns, putting him 4th all-time entering tonight, so he's up to 42 now on Buckeye's top 10 list. And he has very elite company ahead of him: Corey Resner, Trevor Tomey, and Ron Brandt.
Pretty impressive, all of those guys.
Yeah, 59, 55,
Wow.
and 54 touchdowns.
You score 59 touchdowns in your high school career, you're playing some football.
Yeah, you are. Means you've got a great offense.
Yep, indeed. Well, the hands team for the Bombers are out. You've got Tyler Mintz back deep. I wouldn't surprise me to see an onside kick here, but you're still 3 scores away.
Now, Branson and Porter, 2 of the bigger names up there on that front line. Now they will send the vicinity of Mintz, makes the catch on the run. And Mintz again going to try to bounce it out. Mintz running room, turns on the burners. Mintz still going to the 40. One man to beat. Mintz to the 20. To the 10, and he's knocked down at the 5.
Fantastic play. Mintz cut back, followed blockers, ended up crossing the field. That was every bit of a 55, 60-yard run back on there, taking it down to just on about the 7-yard line. Let's see what Coach Grube does here. My guess is victory formation.
Now, the Bombers have sealed the deal here tonight. It will be a fun bus ride back.
Indeed.
And boy, for Mintz, that's 2 consecutive phenomenal returns. First one marred by a penalty, but this one, wow.
Well, and the neat thing here, everybody, all Bomber fans out here, most of these guys are juniors.
The Western Reserve Conference is a little bit concerned about that.
Yes, indeed.
Because they're mostly coming back next year, save for a few seniors here and there. But Kenston will take a knee.
Late in the 4th quarter, Canfield is beating East 30-7. So, Matt, I think you're absolutely right. Looks like a showdown between Canfield and Kenston next year, next week, somewhere in between.
Well, I'm just going to take a guess here. Ravenna Stadium looks mighty nice.
I think so. It's a pretty nice facility, about halfway in between.
This should be the final snap of this one. There we go. Kenston, a winner tonight, 40-21. Wow.
Right in line with the Bombers' scoring average for the year, right at about 39.6, I think, has been their scoring average. 40 points again. Outstanding. Now, Matt, that was a well-rounded victory from the Bombers. They did it both from a passing perspective, a running perspective, and that defense was downright stingy. You take away those late garbage time plays. That was a tough defense.
It was a stellar victory. Well, with that, we're going to step away for a second here, and I believe that we're going to be heading down to the field to check on Coach Grubich and the team and their post-game huddle. And after that, we'll wrap things up here on GTV.
All right, now listen up, okay? Hey, 40-21. You just punched your ticket to the regional finals, boys. Now, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a great team effort. Great team effort. I can only nitpick on probably about 10 plays in there that were problems, okay? You guys clean that up. Like I've been saying all year, you can play with anybody, man. You know what? Because you're a great team. There's no ego, there's no individuals out here. It's a team effort. When all 3 phases play together, man, you are one heck of a team. You're one heck of a team. But guess what? We're going right back to work, man. Hey, it's Tell the Truth Saturday, man. We're going to get in that field room. We're going to hit you hard. You know why? Because we want to win a regional championship. We're not happy just getting there. Do I look happy? Hell no. Okay, we got to put work in, and we got to finish. All right? We got to finish. Guys, I'm proud of you. Hey, walk tall with your chest out, man. Walk tall with your chest out. You know why? Because you guys been working your tails off for 3 and 4 years, some of you, to get here. And we ain't done. We ain't done, okay? You've worked too hard to let up now, okay? So when you come in the building tomorrow, all right, you better be ready to go to work, okay? It's no, hey, laughy, giggly time, ain't we sweet? No. You're sweet, but you ain't that sweet. We still got work to do, all right? Hey, you are now in, okay, at 10:30. It ain't 10. Listen to me. I've been here, done this, man. It ain't 10:30 so you can stay out late. It's 10:30 because it's a grind. And every one of you were dragging butt all week. It's 10:30 because I want you to get in bed at a decent time and sleep in. Sleep in. Okay? Take care of the body. We ain't getting there unless we take care of the bodies, guys. You got to be smart. Coach is being nice, even backing them up to let them get a little rest. Okay? That's the biggest thing, guys. The team that stays healthy and executes down the road here is the one that's going to win. But guess what? Proud as hell, man. Proud as hell of you guys. Celebrate a little bit. Celebrate. Where them Bombers going? Regional finals!
Well, what a talk that was. And we appreciate you joining us here as we wrap this one up. Kenston victorious. They move on to face Canfield in the Division III Region 9 Finals.
It's got a nice ring to it.
It does.
Finals.
40-21 is the final here as Kenston defeats Buckeye. And the Bombers, it was a great defensive effort in the offense from the get-go. They were out to prove something.
They absolutely were. What was a great thing to see throughout this whole entire game was, we've used the word over and over tonight, but it was discipline. Something Coach Grubich pounded into these kids this week was just how important it was that they kept their heads, they kept their cool. They did it. They had very, very few penalties. What we have? Probably 4 penalties at most. We had 2 on one drive for over 30 yards. But fortunately, they did a great job. That entire team deserved to celebrate that victory.
Well, with the victory, Kenston improves now to 11-1 on the year. With the loss, Buckeye falls to 10-2. And congratulations to the Kenston Bombers, who will move on to the Division III Region 9 Sectional Finals. As, again, a date with Canfield awaits them. And we certainly wish them the best as they take on what'll be the best team that they have faced all season long.
Indeed. They're going to have to be prepared.
Well, tonight's game has been brought to you by Jaga Local Access Cable GTV in cooperation with Blaster Corporation, maker of the #1 selling penetrant. Your final score once again is Kenston 40, Buckeye 21. I am Matt Jaworski. Thank you to our crew today, including our cameraman Brian Foster and Chris Graw, and my partner tonight, Drew Tewksbury. Also, thank you to executive producer Dave Jevnikar. On behalf of all the rest, we'd like to wish you all the best.
Tonight's special telecast is being brought to you through a unique arrangement between GTV, Tom Porter,